Yeah, we're setting up here.
Let's set
Because
up.
we're lazy and late. I'm lazy and he's late.
What?
We're lazy and late. I'm lazy and you're late.
Yeah, that fits. That fits. Let's see. My story. Our story. Oh, whatever.
We're gonna have a busy night tonight.
It is a busy night. It is. I'm gonna cover the books from last week because I don't feel like doing it separately. Oh, here it is. Now I'm gonna share it to my. Share. Did you share it to the group?
I have not yet.
Are you gonna share it to the group?
Just shared it personally and.
Okay, I'm gonna share it personally.
Share it to the group.
To the group.
Come on.
You got the puppers in here snoring away.
Just sawing
hopefully
some logs.
Hopefully doesn't pick it up. I don't think we have a tone either because of how things are, but whatever. And then let me turn off all my crap. I got on.
All your crap.
So let's see what else. I'll bring up a tone just in hopes that it
may work depending on if you've updated or not.
And let me see if I can find something. Because I'm gonna put this one because people are already into this. People are already balls deep in Christmas, even though it's been like 2 seconds
since Halloween.
But anyways, okay, we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Wait.
All right. Well, TNTMTheShow presents Comicast 310 with your host
Pablo Gunner.
And I'm JD.
I'm back.
And we're here to talk to you about the comics for the week of the 1st of November 2017. And Pablo here is back. He came back rested from vacation.
Not rested because it's like when you go on vacation,
go.
It's go. Like you get up as early as you can, unless it's the actual R&R type. Where like when I go to Pagosa, that's actual relaxation. But when you're going on a vacation, like you're going to Disney, you're going to like some event or something like that, definitely not because you're going. We got to get to the room, put all our stuff in there. We got to go to sleep. We get up early, be there early. You got to walk around everywhere, run around, you eat a lot of bad food. And,
enjoy yourself.
And that's what goes down. So we already have somebody that guessed the thing. So if you want it, you got it. It's whatever book you want. I got the books from last week as well. I got this stack from last week that I'm going to be giving away.
I was lazy and I didn't go grab them. So yeah, my fault.
At least he's honest.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
tons of news.
Yeah, tons of news. Okay, let's talk about news before we jump into comics. So news, the biggest news. I mean, there's so much news, but the biggest news is we never thought we would ever hear this, or I never fathomed it. Like we kind of felt the same way about Sony with Spider-Man, but
Disney is currently in talks according to CNBC.
And so many other sources.
Now that Disney is in talks to purchase 21st Century Fox, which includes all encompassing umbrellas. 20th Century Fox, which owns the original rights for the original releases for Star Wars. So we could get a despecialized edition for that in the near future. That's another thing I didn't even think of.
Wow, that's insane. Okay, so and that's
the X-Men, the Fantastic Four,
and that's the biggest thing.
Even Fox News and Fox Sports, The Simpsons is something that would come along with that deal. Gotham would come along with that deal, but I mean, the rights to the characters would not. But the rights to the shows would. But I mean, it's super big news. I mean,
well, because I initially thought it was they're just buying X-Men back. They're buying. They're just straight up going. You know what? You don't want to give it to us? We'll buy you entirely, so that you have no choice but to give us full access to all your stuff.
It's like Bruce Wayne swimming, getting the models swimming in the pools in the hotel. They're only for decoration. I'm buying this hotel.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So
that's some huge news.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely insane. And then the other crazy news, which is like, we get this news, and then we get the news that Brian Michael Bendis, my homeboy, is going over to
DC.
He
signed an exclusive contract.
It sounds like he's legitimately leaving Marvel. From what I'm hearing is he's actually leaving Marvel and going to DC.
Didn't Claremont do the exact opposite?
Go from DC to Marvel. And similar thing with Kirby. In fact,
and Morrison,
Peter David, who writes the Spider-Man 29, I think he was the original creator of it too. He said, God forbid, like social media existed back then, because Jack Kirby going to DC, people would have lost their minds.
Yep.
Because it is huge news that this guy who's a huge staple of
the Marvel,
like you have to think about like right now, like why all the things that are big right now are big, and it's because of him. Like, do you think Defenders would be a show? Do you think Luke Cage would be a show? Do you think Jessica Jones would be a show? Do you think Iron Fist would be a show? Do you think even Daredevil would be a show without this guy? No, it would not.
No,
those would not be Netflix shows right now if not for him, because he's written all those characters and made them great to the point that because of the storylines that they're covering, they're his storylines, like straight up in the Marvel Netflix. Those are his characters. I mean, Luke Cage, he made him the leader of the new Avengers.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish he still was, or some form of the Avengers. He's been like off and on, but you know, he still has his own title, and he has. I don't know if because they don't do the
Luke Cage
Power Man and Luke Cage or Luke Cage and Iron Fist anymore, do they?
No.
They stopped doing that.
I think so, yeah.
Which is unfortunate because that was a really solid book.
And then he was part of the Black Panther of the crew, and that's now gone.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm sure we'll see more of him. Hopefully, we do, because I love that character. But you know, it's just because, especially like Miles, we have Riri, and I'm wondering too if his reasoning for going to DC is because of the bad sales or the not well received new characters, because he's a big part of it. Like, he's really the one that first brought it along with Miles, because before that there wasn't really,
it was just Peter Parker,
a lot of color brought into the new age. And then with him, and then Riri, and now a lot of other characters.
Yeah, I think diversity was a big thing that was missing from the Marvel side of things.
I mean, he shook things up just by adding X-Men and Spider-Man into Avengers way back when.
Yeah.
Because before, people were like, you can't have Wolverine and Spider-Man in the Avengers. No. You know?
I remember that.
And I was like, why not? That sounds awesome. They're awesome
characters.
They're in New York all the time. Like, why does it not make sense?
There's a big building right there.
There's a big building. So it's just a crazy thing that shakes things up. I can't wait to see what he does. A lot of people, it's crazy because I think a lot of DC fans are scared that their stuff is going to get ruined.
Well, I imagine that Johns is still going to be creative control, more or less, and that Bendis is just going to help out.
Well, it seems like we have two teams. Machine. We have Jeff Johns, this is kind of like the old school dude, and then we have the new age, which is Schneider.
Yeah.
And so we already have these two big heads. How are we going to throw in another dude into that mix? They have a lot of talent, dude. It's really crazy.
What artists are they going to pick with him? I mean, that's some pretty big shoes to fit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he works great with everybody, man. Like, he really does.
But it's got to be magical that first time, you know?
I'm not worried. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, they pit Romita with...
hey, they should put Albuquerque in there, man.
With Jeff Johns, didn't they?
Yeah, they'll put Brian Michael Bendis and Rafael Albuquerque.
Maybe.
That would be awesome.
I know they're going to make a good choice, but they should go with somebody that's more... Seasoned. Actually, no, he can do everything. He can do dark. He can do lighthearted. You know, he can do talky. He can, you know, like, the guy can do... The only wrong that he does, and they mention this, a lot of DC fans mention this, keep him off event books. But you know what? The way that DC does event books, I think he would be just fine for there, because they drag him out, but they drag him out in a way that is well done.
And it's timed.
The way that it's timed, yes, it's timed perfectly. It's like, oh no, like you never hear like, oh, they're gonna go over like 2 extra issues, you know, and all this other stuff, because of an artist can't keep up. What they do is they just throw in more artists and they go, it's gonna be a thematic change. It'll work. And they do it. So I'm not worried at all. To me, I won't say he can't do any wrong because, you know, whatever, but I think it's going to be some interesting stuff. And it'll be a while. It might even be like a year before we actually see something from him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see it. And then we have, there's so many things coming out for gaming. I mean, we have Assassin's Creed Origins out. I'm a hardcore Assassin's Creed guy, but I haven't played it. I haven't had time. I mean, I haven't even beaten Mass Effect Andromeda, and it's N7 day today. It's N7 day today, November 7th. And so, I mean, I'm surprised I'm not wearing my N7 shirt. And everything. Like, I need to get it together. But I love Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect Andromeda. I love everything that they put out. I even want to buy the snowboard that they have, because I do go snowboarding like once a year usually. And that would be cool to sport, with like some awesome N7 gear.
Yep.
But I want everything. I want the shoes. I want the socks. I want the pants. I want the leggings. I want the panties. I don't know if that exists, but I want them. And they have the neck. Like, I want it all. I just want it all because I love it so much. I do have the N7, like the Normandy SR1. I have the 2 on order from Twin Suns.
Okay.
But anyways, lots of gaming stuff. What other games? I know there's way more. Call of Duty just came out, right?
Call of Duty
World War II. That came out, so that's a big thing for
Battlefront 2 comes out in 2 weeks.
2 weeks for that. Let's see what else.
I think it's not even 2 weeks. I think it's a week and a half.
Is it?
Yeah, it comes out on the 17th, which is a Friday. I'll get it on the Tuesday or Wednesday because, well, it's 3 days beforehand.
There's a lot of stuff from Paris, PlayStation Paris. I thought you would be up to date on that.
The PS4 stuff.
PS4 Spider-Man. Oh my God, it just looks so delicious. Oh my God, it looks so good.
That's the only thing I cared about. I mean,
well, there's Shadow of Colossus, which I didn't play, and it looks like it's improved. So don't you take it back.
It was good on the PS3, but I played it once. I'm done.
Okay. Well, if you played it, then you're good. But I didn't. I want to play the new improved version. So
I did play it. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. It was a one-time thing, but yeah.
Okay, cool. See? Well, I thought you were saying it's bad.
Oh,
but
no,
anyways.
No. But that's Spider-Man PS4. That's going to be my next pre-order. Man.
What new stuff do they have, too, for PlayStation?
For PlayStation Plus, it's a game called Bound. And then we have Until Dark's VR stuff.
Until Dark, that sounds familiar.
Until Dawn, excuse me.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, sorry.
Until Dawn's what?
It's the PSVR game.
Oh, okay.
And then we have Worms Armageddon.
Okay.
Those are the PS4 games.
So those aren't great, but they're not bad. And we just got Phantom Pain, so you're going to be playing Phantom Pain for like a year.
And if you probably got Ground Zero like I did like a year ago, I'm going to play Ground Zero first and then play Phantom Pain. I mean... Why?
I don't know. You made that noise, so I just wanted.
You're playing part 1 of 5 and then part 2 of 5.
I just skipped straight to this greatness.
Yeah.
Just skip straight to the greatness of Phantom Pain.
And then just wait until Battlefront comes out and you'll be playing the campaign on that. I mean,
I have a video of it of the whole first level. I need to convert it so I can post it.
Yeah, because I'm ready. Wife and I are going to sit down and play it. She's going to learn it.
It's a long, drawn-out game, but oh my God, it's just beautiful and brilliant and magnificent.
I'm excited.
So anyways, and then who cares about Xbox, right? Oh, Xbox One X is coming out or is out.
I'm going to say it is out.
Something like that. Cuphead's out for that, so that's a game to get for it. I know there's a lot more games, but I'm just drawing a blank right now. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah. What comics? Is it time?
It's.
I think it's time.
I think it's time. We've meandered enough. I mean, we're going to be having a nice long discussion this evening.
Yes, we're going to have another 3. We're going to do 3 a.m.s at IHOP tonight. The whole crew, pretty much, except for our Guinevere is the only one. But that's fine.
Yeah,
it's all good. So yeah. Comics. We are covering the comics from November 1st, the first November day. And then we have a grade scale. We do have a grade scale, and it's by Skim Pass. You'll see it on our website. On the main page, it has it, but we have variations. Strong, weak. And so we get the best of the best here, though.
We rarely use the word pass.
We rarely use pass. We barely use skims. So you're getting the best of the best books here, because that's what we get. And if we don't like it after 2 issues, dropped.
Or we cut the trade, sometimes.
Sometimes. But yeah, and so we also, if it's really solid, we'll be like, hey, it's a contender. What is it a contender for?
The B-Bow, the back and bag of the week, where we take it and throw it in the pristine case and sleeve with the board and everything.
And the back and bag. And the runner-up.
Yeah, runner-up to the B-Bow.
B-Bow, yeah. So.
And that's where we give our most spoilers. I mean, we're really just going to try and hype it up and say, hey, you need to pick this issue up. You need to support the industry.
We're like the hype men, of this.
Because we're not trying to take away sales here. I mean,
no,
we need comic sales. This is definitely not the 90s.
Yeah,
where people are just buying it indiscriminately.
Yeah, and then so we have if it's one of us reviewing it, it's 1 minute. If it's two of us reviewing it, it's 2 minutes. Here's the tone. If there's more people that want to guess it, we already got one person. He already called his book. I'm running out of tones because it only lets me use so many, and that's also because there's a lot of people out there that as soon as Halloween is over, they jump straight to Christmas. And you know what? I'm grinching about it because it's not. You got to be thankful first for all the candy you got, and then you got to be thankful for the gifts that you're going to get and everything else that happened before you're jumping straight into Christmas and going, I want. Okay? Yeah. Be thankful.
Yeah.
It's thankful month.
Right.
Gosh.
It's gorge yourself on Halloween candy and then gorge yourself on turkey, candy,
Yes.
Or candy jams.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So let's get into this party. I'm excited. I'm jacked off about it.
We got some Batman.
Batman, hombre de guano, as he says. I know that's not correct, but
no. It's number 34.
But it's number 34, Batman. And we have Tom King.
Tom King is the script.
Joel Jones
did the pencils, inks, and the cover. Jordi Belair did the cover and exterior color. And Clayton Coles did the letters. Yes, Clayton Coles. Have we gotten confirmation from him that that's how you pronounce it?
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, we have Selena and Bat still in the desert, going to talk to Talia al Ghul. They kind of get separated, and she's like, "Hey, Bruce, you got a sword?" It's like, "No, I don't want to fight you. Just pick up a sword. You're gonna need it." And the two of them start a nice little battle, whatnot.
Well, she sends the tongueless men after them, which sends multiple signs, which is they're not there to talk, they're not there to negotiate, they're there to
do their job,
tire them out, which is even more messed up that you just send guys to get killed, essentially. And I just love their back and forth. Batman and Catwoman, their back and forth is just gold.
And then Clark shows up and talks to Damian and Dick.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're going to find Bruce.
Yeah, you guys aren't allowed in there. And so they're like, I guess we'll just hang out here. And I'm like, really, guys? But we'll find them inside, I'm sure, in the next issue. Talia shows up, and then she tells Bruce to pick up a sword. They throw down. And she messes him up. And then she throws down with
Selena.
Well, she's going to. Going to. So we'll see that in the next issue.
You got a sword? Pick one up. I love that piece of dialogue.
Dude, the dialogue in this is just so killer the whole way through. And then the art was just mind-blowingly delicious. Like, it was so good the whole way through. Like, and I love, like, they make, like, Batman pokes fun at himself. I love, like, the evolution of Bruce in this whole time. All this stuff going on. But it's so great.
So solid.
I couldn't find any faults. Like,
I mean, the last issue was very, You could have gone without it, but this one was it should have been a double issue, man. Had this been paired with the last issue, it would have been perfect.
Well, that's why it's also good.
Oh gosh.
To get things in trade.
Wow, it worked.
This is a great book to have in trade.
Oh, yes. I agree
because
with that.
The way that the arcs go, they're done very well.
So strong contender for me.
No doubt. Yeah, same here.
Alrighty. Next up, we have some astonishing
X-Men number 5.
This is Life of X Part 5. Charles Soule is the writer. Roman Rosanas is the artist. Nolan Woodard is the color artist. And again, Clayton Coles is the letterer.
So this actually starts with Xavier, and he's like explaining this battle that he's had going on, that when he died, that the Shadow King actually like took his soul or whatever, his astral projection, and took it away. So essentially that they could just fight because he's been stuck here. Bored. And so they've just been like using all these fake pawns in this astral plane, and they got bored. It seems like they both got bored. But more so, obviously, they're playing a game, and it's Shadow King. But they're playing for keeps. They're playing for bodies. They're playing for real things now. And so, and they explain too, like Charles like explains like, I can't do it all, like that's why I let Gambit go, and also to keep him distracted while we're doing have this thing going on. And so, but Gambit's messing stuff up. He has like he knights them, essentially has them fight, and then there's this virus spreading, this shadow virus. I'm just gonna call it.
It's a psychic virus where if it touches you, you're a bad guy. You're part of the Shadow King.
Yeah, you're part of this like hive mind sort of. Yeah. And then the best part though was at the end when somebody sheds their skin and decides, you know what? I have to make a choice, and I have to do what I got to do, even though I don't want to let this demon out of its cage. Yeah, which is a great callback to the uncanny. I want to say Uncanny X-Force, or was it just X-Force?
It was one of the X-Force,
but it was an X-Force book, the arc that was just brilliant by Remender, and I want to say Remender and gosh, what was the other guy? I
can never
Hispanic
remember.
name. Those Hispanic artists, they're phenomenal.
Anyway,
this book
is solid.
It's solid. I feel like the art sometimes was touch and go. Like you're like, it was like so amazing. Then you'd be like, this looks weird. So and it's weird to go like, well, is that also thematic? Like, are they doing that because like sometimes their
reality is being warped
to reality and sometimes they're not? I don't know, but either way, to the eyes,
it's not pleasing.
It's not pleasing, and it's not nice to go like from really great to like.
But the writing is amazing.
But the writing is phenomenal.
So I mean, I'm gonna give it a buy. I'm just gonna give it a buy.
Ooh, just a buy.
Just a buy
because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I have high expectations on the 4 previous issues. They were great art-wise. It was amazing. This took its dip, and it shows. I mean, that's just how I feel about it.
I'm gonna go with the strong buy, not contender. Here's a digital code. F for Familia, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, 3, H for Hector, I for Ignacio, 7-6, P for Pedro, 5-5, F for Familia.
Next up, we have Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 6.
Yeah, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 6.
Writers Chip Zdarsky. Michael Walsh is the artist. Ian Herring is the color artist, and Travis Lanham is the letterer. And we have the interview, the long-awaited interview.
Yes.
Between the Spectacular Spider-Ham and J. Jonah Jameson.
My Dinner with Jonah, and it is Peter Parker, and he's having dinner with J. Jonah Jameson. He makes him lasagna.
Yeah.
And he pours him like wine.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't drink. Of course, Spidey's like, I don't drink in web sling, or I don't drink and swing. But he does eat, and he's like, wow, this is really good. And it's a really odd interview because it's
really here, man. It's honest. It's brutal.
It's honest and brutal. It really is, because you have Peter and he just wants information, and you have Jonah, and he's just being a royal dick to Peter.
And we see the death of his wife again. He keeps flashing back to that, and he keeps seeing, hey, I saw the Amazing Spider-Man. He was a showman. He was on this television series. I was in the audience and stuff. And then Spider-Man's like, you kind of tried to kill me like 2 or 3 times. Yeah. You're not exonerated from this?
I just love how Peter breaks Jonah down, and then he does something really crazy that I felt like should have. is kind of like a long time coming.
Yeah,
but the build was like, they kept this under the wraps really well, I think, because I think this would have been a huge spoiler. I don't want to spoil it.
Me neither.
Because it's such a great,
amazing book. It's such a great reveal.
It is phenomenal.
I mean, if it's our B-Bow, well, even if it's not our B-Bow or runner-up, we will not disclose it. But if it is that, we may disclose that. So, because there's a lot of good books this week, man.
There is so many good books. There is a ridiculous amount of good books this week.
So strong by contender for me. I love this issue. Love the art. It got that classic feel to it. This was fantastic for me. Again, strong by contender.
Yeah, no complaints at all. And yeah, just like you said, hits you right in the feels.
I say put that one aside.
Emotional. Put this one aside. He says, yes, indeed. Now this book, Black Lightning, Cold Dead Hands, one of 6, $3.99, a hero for today's headlines. I saw someone said this is like cop hating material right here. It's like anti-establishment, authority stuff. But I didn't get that from it. So
it's your
here's mine. We have part 1, Ready to Do It All Over. Writer is Tony Isabella. Clayton Henry is the artist. Pete Pantazis is the colorist. Josh Reed letterer. So we have Black Lightning, and there's these guys. Well, first of all, there's these guys called the Weathermen, and they call themselves that because
it's raining men.
No, so they have guns that have certain aspects of the weather, like ice, whatever, like lightning. different things. Yeah, lightning, different stuff. And so they're robbing this casino, and the thing is, they went from just robbing small time to a casino, so that's why he shows up. He's back in town, and he goes to stop them, but he's not all powerful. So they shoot this rubble to distract him so they can run away. That's what he does. Is he can't stop it, but he slows it down from falling. Falls onto a cop car. The police are like, "Hey, you just wrecked our car," and he's like, "No, gravity wrecked your car. I just saved your guys' lives because you had enough time to get out from under it. So you're welcome." And so then he jets, and I guess they're having like a memorial or something like that for, I think, his dad, and then something else pops off, and it's the Weatherman, and they want him, and there is a detective that's helping him out, and but it doesn't take long. Like somebody zaps the Weatherman, they think it is him, so now he's on the run from the police because they think that he killed them, even though they had given up at that point. But it was actually a weapons malfunction. So does that sound like cop hating propaganda to you?
Not at this point in time.
It sounds like comics to me. I don't know. Like, this is something that happens with Spider-Man all the time. He's white. He's just a geek, webhead, it's not touching anything new necessarily, but it seems more, as we saw in the last one, he wears a mask. So this guy doesn't wear a mask, but he's black. So it is a different situation. And it's interesting too how he's a teacher and he uses that as, it's pretty cool. I like it. It's, the reason the show, I want to know more. So I'm going to keep reading it. I enjoy it. I think it's really solid. Art is really well done. So I think it's
a strong body contender.
I think it's a strong body contender. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll throw it there.
Next up, you got some Black Bolt.
Black Bolt, number 7. Writer Saladin Ahmed, guest artist Fraser Irving, letter Clayton Coles. And so, I knew this was Fraser as soon as I opened it. I was like, oh my God, you just know his art. And they're in this ship, in this old ship, and they're venturing back to Earth. But there's like a monster inside it. And so they have to I don't know. It's weird. This kid, his dreams come to life. So he has to fight the dream come to life. And then and then there's a monster that's in it that's like kind of having like a panic attack. They got to calm it down. And then, Lockjaw can't just teleport him because he's injured from the last issue. And boom, now they're at Earth. And they are being hailed by the new Atalan Queen? King? No, I think it's a queen. Yeah. Queen. But I don't know. It might be like president now. Not sure. But yeah. So that's that. It looks amazing. I love Fraser's art. It's so phenomenal. It works great for this issue. It does kind of feel like a filler issue, but it's solid. So I'm gonna give it a strong buy. Here's a digital code.
I'll read it off to you. F for Fantastic, C for Charles, M for trying to think of an M thing. Man thing. There you go. N for November, 5, C for Charles, G for Gambit, L for Larry, 2, H for Harry, the letter X, the number X. Wow. X for Xavier.
All right, yeah.
And A for Apple.
All righty. So I have Green Arrow number 34. And so it starts with the father, Robert Queen, and he's talking to his son, his little boy. He's telling him a story. Then the mother comes in and is like, hey, we got the situation. Come deal with it, And then it gets to present time. He's talking to his mom, Moira, and she's talking about her troubled past, like, how her mom was a drunk and a dirtbag and stuff. And then when she married Robert, like, that all changed because, he's rich and powerful and everything like that. And she's like, I'm doing all this stuff. And then she reveals that she's been allied with the Ninth Circle. And he's like, oh, how could you? I've been fighting them for all this time. And he's like, I can't trust you. And then it goes to the Merlin and Diggle stuff and what's going on with them. And then Black Canary's calling Green Arrow, but he's busy with that. So he's a little late, but they deal with Clock King. And she's like, I thought we were going to have some alone time. And he's like, oh, I got to deal with this situation. He says it's the court case, but it's actually his mom. So it's never good when you're keeping secrets from the lady. I'm telling you that right now. It never ends well. No, it does not.
You might as well just get, tell her first and get the ass whooping on out of the way. That's about how it works.
Pretty much.
Just come clean and just let her whip your ass for a little bit.
So this is written by Benjamin Percy. Artist is Stephen Byrne. And then Darren Bonet as a letterer. So the art looks a little cartoony and goofy looking. I don't know, this art, because they alternate artists. And so this artist I feel like when they do an Amico story, it works really well, or do a lighthearted story, it works really well. This one, it's okay. So,
the art almost feels like it should belong in a Green Lantern's book.
Possibly. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a buy.
Give it a buy. Next up, we have some Vader number 7. This is Charles Soule writing. Giuseppe
Comuncoli?
Yeah. Is the penciler. Danielle Orlandini is the inker. David Carell is the colors. And Joe Caramanga is the letterer. And we have the training of the Inquisitors, the Inquisitorius. And
so Vader is wrecking.
He's straight taking their arms off. He's like, they need to know the pain of loss.
He's like, we have a medical droid here, like it can just reattach it anyways. Yeah. So it's fine, but they'll never forget that, And the Inquisitor, he's like, telling him all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, you guys are fit for what you're made to do.
Yep.
And then they're like, but why are we going after this lady?
Well, there's a list of Jedi,
mm-hmm.
and if you read Aurebesh, then you know what this list consists of. And there's a big name in here that I haven't heard that survived. I'll get to that at the end of the comic probably. But there's Jocasta Nu is the one they're all afraid about because she can start up a new academy. She can, teach a school for Jedi, and she has knowledge, and she's spreading that knowledge. And they want to wipe out the Jedi. So I wonder if Luke's going to come across some of her old stuff whenever he's out in The Last Jedi, or when we find out what he's been up to,
or just in the current comic book series of Star Wars. Even
we'll see.
So, but yeah, so Vader does ask the Emperor, like, I love that the way they're writing this relationship, because he calls him friend, and he uses these words that are kind of like friend. They're kind of disarming, you know what I mean? Where like he goes like, "Hey, we're still cool. We're still buddies, I'll
whoop your ass, but we're still buddies."
Exactly, yeah. And so he's like, I think that you purposely pointed this out because you want me to ask you about it. So why are we going after this lady? And that's exactly what explains what you said. And So
a strong buy contender for me.
No doubt.
Because this is an amazing book. We're gonna keep the code for that.
Well, that's
I mean, I'm gonna say it right now. If you can read Arabic and you translate this list, you're gonna see Yoda's on that list.
Okay.
But you're also gonna see Quinlan Vos is on that list. And I don't know if you're familiar with Quinlan Vos or not, but he's not a joke. I mean, he's the type of person that would go after Vader instead of letting Vader come to him. He would go and attack the Inquisitorius and try and get them out. Ahsoka Tano's on that list as well. So, we're going to see lots and lots of good stuff.
Yes, we are. Oh, my God.
Note that Mace Windu is not on that list.
Okay? That we saw.
Yeah, because it is only like 6 names. And the 2 names at the bottom are unable to really be seen. So they do seem similar to a couple of Legends characters, but I'm not going to disclose that information because it's incomplete. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on. Yeah, I mean, I give it a strong buy contender as well. Yeah, it's magnificent. It's doing so well, and I love how they're also fusing the comics with Rebels amongst other works that are out there.
Yes.
They've really done their research, you can tell. And like you said, the attention to detail, the Sklikibish or whatever.
Arabic.
Yeah, that's what I said. So anyways, yeah.
Next up we have Batman, the Devastator.
The Devastator #1. Yeah. Dark Knight's metal tie-in.
I have been so excited to see this one.
Frank Thierry does the plot. James Tignon does words. Tony S. Daniel is pencils. Danny Miki on inks. Tomei Murray colors. Tom Napolitano letters. So, this is another universe's Batman saying like, oh, Superman, he's so good. He was just disarming us the whole time, and to make us weaker. And so in his universe, Superman is that. He is bad. He did go bad.
He killed his own wife.
And you see Earth. It's Earth 0? Is there Earth 0?
Or
is that just a different one?
We are Earth 0.
Yeah, he's taken down Lobo in this one. But yeah, so they go into that. They explain that, and then he's like,
he changes. He infects Lois.
He infects Lois. So this is what he says. Because if you've read the Doomsday virus thing that was the other,
it was part of the New 52.
New 52. So it was the previous Superman, not this one. You know that like there's a virus, and so Superman actually turned into Doomsday, and so it could spread to other people, and so he found a way to turn himself into Doomsday
and control it,
as well as spread it to other people to make them so that Superman cannot hurt them or kill them like he did in his universe, and so that's what he's trying to do in our universe now. So it's really crazy how
the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Exactly. There's all these Batmen. They're doing it for good reasons, and it's just, yeah. You said it best. You really said it best. And this art looks amazing. I mean, there's a lot of great spreads. I mean, you have to go when you have a Doomsday.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a Batman Doomsday. And I see this one to me made a lot of sense when the Man Who Laughs shows up because he explains
why.
That. Yes, and I felt like it was explained really well.
He even says that he's Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to see.
We're slowly getting more and more kernels about
the Batman That Laughs.
Yes.
Which he's the next one. He is the next Dark Knight's Metal Batman to be confirmed and have his own solo story. And I'm uberly excited for that as well. I mean, wow. Strong by contender. I love that. I love this metal Batman origin stuff. It's just amazing.
Genius. Yeah, it's the art was just mind blowing. And then I felt like I think that this might be the best one so far. That's what I think.
Alrighty. Next up, we got some Old Man Logan.
Number 30. Ed Brisson is the writer. Michael Deodato Jr. artist. Frank Martin, Andres Mosa, and Chris Sotomayor as colorist. Corey Petit letter.
And then we got the Maestro. He's telling his plan more or less.
Well, you get the backstory of his plan when he recruited these people. He found a portal. Whose portal was? Doom's.
Doom's, yeah.
And so he recruits them, and then it was weird though because Hawkeye does do his thing. I don't know how he survived like some of that, but whatever. Radiation, you know. But yeah, and so it's crazy because Wolverine thinks that this version of Hawkeye is dead, so he's kind of like reliving.
Yep, his traumatic
past.
stuff.
And so he loses it. He unleashes on
Maestro.
Yes, but so does this other She-Hulk too. And this little girl really is the key to it too. Like they finally get through to her and stuff. And like Wolverine just goes like full rage mode. And it's just freaking crazy.
It doesn't end well with the Maestro.
It's not to me, it didn't feel like a win on either side.
Yeah.
You know, because I think this is like a to be continued, but later down the road type of thing, which I love that type of stuff that like comes back, you know?
Every time I look at the final couple pages and panels, I can't help but hear the Hulk walking away music, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. But it's Old Man Logan and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works, man. It works. And I continue to love this paneling.
The paneling
it's really amazing. Weird because
it takes up the whole page, but it's cut.
He'll do a spread, but then break it down, even though it's one image, and it still works really well because it puts certain focus on certain things. And then there's other times where he uses that same style to actually do different panels. It's so unique.
It's amazing.
It's different. Like he's using the basic style, but turning it around, and even there's this slanted version. It's just crazy. I just love his paneling. Yeah.
Strong by contender for me. I love it.
For sure. It's freaking amazing.
What's your grade?
My grade is a strong by contender. And Diesel Code?
Yeah, let's give this one away.
Okay. F for Fin Fang Foom. C for Champions. M for Mildred. P for Puck. 4. F for Fin Fang Foom. H for Hank. Q for Quill. 3. E for Elvin. And Q for Quill.
Dude, it's been one of those long weeks, man.
Yes.
It's been one of them long weeks. Next up, we have some Green Lanterns. Not Green Acres, but Green Lanterns.
Number 34. It is work release part 2. A writer is Tim Seeley. Artist Ronan Cliquette. Colorist Hi-Fi. Letterer Dave Sharp.
They're still saving this little planet. You know, it's going to be blown up by a volcano or, you know, rocks that are falling from the sky or whatever the heck this thing is. I can't ever remember. Then we keep getting flashbacks of, you know, Simon and Jessica looking for jobs on Earth. It's kind of the gist of it, more or less.
Yeah, it's interesting, and like she got the job, but they're like, oh, because of your issues, we're gonna stick you in the back because until we're comfortable, like we know you can handle stuff, and little do they know, she can handle a lot more. And Simon, they straight up go, you know what? These guys catch a word, they're not gonna want you on the team. So you know what? I don't want to be messed up towards you. So here's a season pass, but we can't give you the job.
Yeah.
So I like that they at least they told him in person, and he got the free passes. So that's cool. But then they have to deal with this other situation where there's these like moloid people that refuse to leave their planet, and they're like, no, they want us to die, and so Jessica Cruz has to explain to them like, oh no, your God would actually want this. Maybe you guys are misinterpreting it, and stuff. And then Simon does his thing with one of the land, like this girl that she's in a really bad way because he has some sort of healing factor with his ring, which is really awesome. And you get like, you find out like that daughter, she's not actually the daughter, she's adopted, but still. And so I loved it. It was so great. It was a nice two-parter.
Yeah.
It was really superb. Great character development and stuff. To me, I would have been like, if they want to die, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, if that's what they want, I'm not going to waste my life.
Deuces.
You go, hey, that's your God. I'm not messing with your beliefs. I'm out of here. So kudos to her.
Strong buy for me. Not a contender, but a strong buy.
Ooh, it's a contender for me.
All right. We got some Spider-Man 234.
Yes, it's Spider-Man 234.
B&B.
Brian Michael Bendis as the writer. Oscar Bazaldua is the artist. Justin Ponsor, color artist.
Corey Petit is the letterer.
Yes. And so we see all these different suits, this menagerie of bad guy suits, and there's this girl selling them, and there's this guy that is like
in the Iron Spider.
He is, in this trench coat, and he's interested in the retrofitted Iron Spider suit. It's black and gold now, and it's crazy too because, what's his name? Miles is back, and he's talking to this girl. He likes this girl and stuff. Goldballs is back. You find out why Goldballs is back, and it's this huge miscommunication, and it feels so real, though. Like, you had this back in the day. You're like, come on, man, I liked her, and she likes you, and, and you're like, and your buddy's like, I could care less, man. Go for it. Besides, you saved me. So tell her that, and then she'll like you even more than she liked me for fighting for her in the first place because I got my butt whooped and you saved me. So who's the real hero here, and who's going to get all the kudos?
Yeah.
And so shebangarang. Yeah, right? And I love it, dude. It just feels so real, dude. It's fantastic.
I love how we get the return of the Spot.
Yes.
Out of all the B-list characters for Spider-Man, I love the Spot. I don't know why. It's probably the animated series that did it for me.
Did you ever read Spot when he was in the Mark Waid and Chris Samney run?
Yes, I did.
Ooh, it was so.
That's fantastic.
Yes. But anyways, we have Bombshell's mom returns, and she's like, yeah, it's a return of the Bombshells. And she's like, want nothing to do with you, Mom. Loved how she put her foot down and was like, you're bad news. Mm-hmm. But there's this guy, and he's trying to get a new crew together.
And he's wearing the Iron Spider suit, and we get him unmasked, and it's a pretty big deal.
Very big deal. Very big deal.
Very big deal.
Because
it hits home.
There's the old version from the Ultimate, and then there's the 616 version. So which one is it? Because there's a lot of people that came back that were not there before from the Ultimate Universe. So we'll find out. I mean, I'm assuming it's the Ultimate version just because of the relevancy, right?
Yep.
So this is a strong buy. This is a contender. It looks absolutely phenomenal through. It's really crazy. I don't even feel like this one really needs an intro, but it has it at the end. And if it should have been at the front, if anything. We've talked about this before.
Many times.
Broken record, but so is Marvel. It's a broken record.
Dude, your dog just farted.
Blowing it up in here. Yes. It's a fart factory in my house. And it's mostly the dogs. So, but yeah, strong by contender.
You want to keep on that one too? Because and we'll give away which Spider-Man we don't get as a runner-up.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not?
Because towards the end of this, we may be giving away a Spider-Man code.
Yeah, probably. That's why you stick to the end, ladies and gents.
So it's now Kapow time.
Kapow time. It is time for a commercial break. So you know what that means? It's time to talk about one of our sponsors. I want to talk about my sponsor, our sponsor, one of the sponsors.
Didn't Age of Comics got the grand opening stuff coming recently? Yeah.
Age of Comics. Yes, they have a grand reopening with Bob McLeod and Chris Claremont. It is November 11th and 12th.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, this upcoming Saturday, Sunday in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Okay. It is at their new location, 3700 Osuna Road Northeast, Suite 513, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87109. It is just a couple stores up from
their old location.
No.
It's down the road.
It's down the road, yes, but I was going to say from the cosplay store.
Just Cos?
Just Cos Cosplay, yes. It's just, yeah. And so it's almost, instead of taking a left, you take a right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you take a right down Osuna instead of taking a left up San Mateo. So, yeah, it's their store really great. It's a lot of people are going in there because you know why? They have this cool pinball machine that everybody likes playing. So you got the fun wells and bells and whistles going on when you're over there. Yeah, and those guys are great to talk to, man. Those guys they're always, they're really nice guys, talkative guys, and stuff. They even have their pops there as security.
Yeah. Because
he's like an old school Marine, man. So watch out. So. But yeah, and like I said, they talk, I'll talk to them about, they always ask me about stuff. Oh, hey, did you hear about this? Have you seen Thor yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen Thor yet. Okay, stop asking me. I'm waiting for my wife because we don't have the same days off. So, but yeah, so they don't spoil it for me and stuff. And
yeah, I definitely won't spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't seen it and it was totally spoiled for me.
So
absolutely.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, so it's a great location. Be there because we have the legendary Chris Claremont.
I mean,
if
they'll be selling trades there, so he can sign them.
The ultimate, yeah. I mean, I don't actually know. I have Claremont. The new Nightcrawler issues that Claremont did. I don't have any old school issues, but I do have trades.
Yeah.
And even though those are trades, so they're not the same. It would still be cool to have a signature on those trades. You know what I mean? So I want to go. Hopefully I can go before work, and stuff, and talk to those guys. What I really wanted to do is a Nightcrawler cosplay, in time for it, but there's no way I'm going to be able to do that, for one, and then two, I really don't want to be like that kind of. I don't want to look like that kind of fan that's like that hard, even though I am. I don't want to be like, I'm going to interview you in my Nightcrawler cosplay where I'm like,
blue face
and everything. Yeah. I don't want to prematurely blue myself. You know what I mean? So, you know how it is.
I get you.
But yeah, so.
That is this weekend, the 11th and 12th.
And there is going to be actually a lot of local New Mexico cosplayers that are going as X-Men characters, so that it's a great photo shoot time if you're a photographer, photo op time if you want to go take pictures with cosplayers, X-Men cosplayers. I mean, this guy's a legend. I think he's the best X-Men writer of all time, hands down. I think that was when comics was at their best, I'm going to say personally, because it was very wordy, but it was also educational, and it was a lot of character development, and that's when they used to let comics go on. There was the same creative team, at least writer, for a very long time. It was very consistent.
Yes.
It was. I think, to me, it's the greatest time.
It's the golden age of comics for me.
Yeah, same here. So, and then of course the other guy, Bob McCoy, he's the artist for New Mutants, I think, New Mutants, as well as other titles during that era. I'm sure he's worked with Claremont too. So that's another guy great to get like a sketch from, would be so awesome, you know, for something, especially you have like a new, I don't know if there's like there's no New Mutants book right now.
Not currently.
Unfortunately, there's not.
I imagine one next year will
but
be
if
released.
You have one that's like an older, you could always get a sketch done that if you have a blank cover or something, or whatever, or just get a sketch. Like, that's original art to me is like
so awesome.
It's there's nothing better because it's yours and there's nothing. It's one of a kind. It's one of a kind. So go there, be there. It's wonderful. Get your comics there. You know, they have all kinds of other stuff. They have you know, they have all the goodies.
They got it.
You know, they don't have like cards and stuff, but they have a lot of
figures.
The comic book related goodies there. So go there. Like them on Facebook. They do a video. I haven't seen them do a video in a while, but they're busy. They're busy.
Yeah, they'll probably do it after they get
but yeah, fully settled. But yeah, so yeah, check them out.
Something I want to talk to you about real quick before we jump into the second half of our comics. New Warriors has tested its pilot, and they were originally going to be on the Freeform network, you know. However, that has been pulled, and they are shopping around for a new network to put it on. So it's tested out so well that they want to put it on something more
better, bigger,
mainstream, something that everybody's going to see. Maybe ABC, maybe Hulu, maybe their own streaming service.
Yeah, I heard Disney is going to have their own streaming service like in a year or so. So a lot of the Marvel movies.
Not a lot. All
of them?
All. The only thing in question now are the Netflix shows.
Yes. Well, because it's through Netflix.
So they may lease them on both channels. So those ones will stay. They may be Netflix exclusives, which when they're run out, they'll be run out. Or if Netflix and Marvel are smart, they'll put them on both services at the same time.
I say keep them separate. Keep them separate. Netflix, if it's Netflix, leave it on Netflix.
We'll see.
That's too confusing.
We'll see.
But whatever.
But yeah, we'll see about that. But New Warriors tested out very, very well.
I hope they do the Warriors come out to play. Like, they have to have that in there at least once, right?
Maybe.
As just like an homage, or just like, you know, a throw to that, even though there's no relation whatsoever.
None.
So yeah.
Alrighty. So
we good?
Up, yeah, we're good. You picked up some Steve.
Oh, you didn't pick it up.
I didn't pick up
You didn't pick it up. Did you not read who the credits are? Did you not know that this Captain America number 695, Home of the Brave Part 1, is storytellers Mark Waid and Chris Samney, and that the color artist is Matthew Wilson with Joe Caramagna as the letterer? Did you not?
I did not.
Okay. Well, that's why you didn't pick it up, because if you did, you would have. Case closed.
Okay. Storm by Contender.
Storm by Contender. That's it. I mean, honest to God, like, that's how I feel about this creative team, because to me, all you have to say is Mark Waid, I'm going to check it out. Chris Samney and Mark Waid,
sold.
It's done and paid for.
Sold.
Yeah, it's so they cover the origin story. They cover, you know, when he came out of the ice and he protects this city or this small town from these white supremacist group. And then it's 10 years later, they have an annual celebration just for him for when they saved that city. Well, guess who is also making a return? That same group. And he caught word of it. And that's why he's there. And it's wonderful because he's just hearing all these great stories despite all the bad press that he's recently gotten, which bad press all around, real world, fake world, or whatever. So he takes care of those guys. And I just love the heart in this. I love the heart in this. And that's what makes this what it is. So
that's what makes it Strong by and Contender.
Yeah. That is exactly what it is.
It's true to form Captain America. It's, you know, classic stuff. It's got that heart. You talk like it's got that art, dude. This is one of those books.
You know, I don't like to be a dick, but Nick Spencer's Captain America was shit. straight up. Like, it just was not Captain America. I could have written that story better in so many ways. And I feel like that's a bad sign. But then again, I do want to be a writer. So, whatever. Maybe it's time for me to just stop reading comics and
start making them
and start writing them. Because there is a thing in there. I'll talk about it later.
Yeah. We'll talk about it after dark.
So yeah. Next, Strong by Contender, obviously. But this book is Iceman
number 7.
Sina
Grace is the writer. Robert Gill is the artist. Rachel Rosenberg is the colorist, and Joe Sabino is the letterer. Sorry.
One thing I do want to complain about real quick is I don't understand how these are considered legacy books when this is a brand new title.
Yeah.
This isn't a legacy book, okay? You can't just throw on the legacy title when it's a brand new series. Like, it's not a legacy book. I don't even understand how Spider-Man Miles Morales is a legacy book when it's maybe because it's not called Miles Morales Spider-Man, but still, what was the actual just basic Spider-Man? Because there's Amazing Fantasy, which that they don't have. Then there's
The Amazing Spider-Man.
There's The Amazing Spider-Man.
You have Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Which is not numbered correctly according to the legacy yet.
We have the Web of Spider-Man. And then we have Spider-Man. Those are the big books that we had for Spider-Man.
So, but anyways, it's frustrating and confusing. But anyways, regardless, this book continues with exactly where it left off.
I like how the parents find out that there's 2 Bobbies now.
Yes, well, it does that. It actually starts with that, with the parents, like they're doing research on their son, or the mom is doing research, and she's like, there's 2 of them now. One's young, and so then it gets back to what was going on, which is the Sentinels, and this is why I love this book, because
Bobby's just straight flirting the entire time.
Well, he also makes like this ice titan samurai warrior thing that takes out these Sentinels that is just wicked as hell. And then he gets back to his date and some Netflix and chill.
Oh yeah.
And I've never been turned on more by a gay relationship, or not been turned off by it.
It was tastefully done.
Yes, it was brilliantly done. It was wonderfully done. Then they have the breakfast,
and then
morning after
kind of give their story about
Natasha and how he was hitting on her and stuff, and how she put him in his place. And then he returns to the girl that created those, or not created, but was working on those.
He tries to pull a
Spider-Man, and he falls. It was hilarious.
It was great.
We can talk about it, but unless you see the visual, it just doesn't do it justice.
And he offers her, the name of a teacher at MIT or something like that, that
works on engineering and stuff like that. He's like, obviously you're brilliant, so you should put it to good use, because you could make money off of it in another way without being part of the Hollywood mess.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't like that he gave her a free pass, because it did put people's lives at risk. So there was no repercussions for her. There was reward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's frustrating to me. I kind of hope this bites him in the ass, to be honest. I hope she comes back and she creates something that can definitely hurt him.
Yeah.
Because of his mercy. Not to say that I don't think you should be merciful, that you shouldn't be merciful, but she deserves to go to jail. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like, they completely avoided the cops, like telling the cops about her, just so that she could get away with these crimes that put people's lives at risk. And it's like, that's
not right.
That's not right.
Punishment, crime. And he's talking about moving to LA.
Another thing that I don't like the idea of, but maybe that's just me, because I wouldn't move
from New York to LA?
To LA for
a relationship
that just started. Like, it's not even like it's one date. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll see how this works out.
So, because I could have stayed in Florida when I got out of the Navy, but I came back because I had already proposed to my wife, my girlfriend. Mind you, we were only together for like 6 months before I proposed. But yeah, that's 6 months, not one date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think that's ridiculous. It's like it's too Hollywood, you know, that type of thing.
Strong by contender for me. I love this book. It's amazing.
I love this book, but those things did bug me. But those are not things that I would go like, you should have fixed this. Like I said, I hope it plays out in the future.
It may.
And I kind of hope both these things kind of blow up in his face, because this is also his first. So he might get taken advantage of by two different people in two different ways.
Yep.
So.
What's your grade?
Strong buying contender.
Alrighty. Next up, you got some bets.
Batman, White Knight, 2 of 8. It's $3.99. We have Sean Murphy with Matt Hollingsworth. And so, so we have the Joker, and actually, they actually call him out in this one. What was it? Jack Napier. Okay, and this one, that is the Joker that this one is. Okay. He is somewhat cured. There's these pills that have helped him be somewhat normal, and so he gets home, and there is Harley there, and Harley is the new Harley. It's the daddy's little monster Harley, and she's like, he even like apologizes for everything that he's done to her in the past, and proposes to her, and she's like, you're not
Mr. J.
Yeah, and so this is awesome. The original Harley shows up in the classic suit and is like, you know what? I actually love Jack. You were just some clown, and I love how this writer creative team, this story disses on the movie version. Saying like, that's not the real version. This is the real version, because she's actually in love with this guy, and they're going to work to make him better, not to make him Joker again, but just make him better.
Okay.
And then you see Bats, and he's working with
Freeze.
Victor Freeze, to cure him and his wife.
Nora.
They explained, you also, this does a phenomenal job of where it places it. It takes place after, like almost directly after Jason Todd's demise. And even like, they're like, do you remember what happened to him? And he's like, I don't remember, and stuff. But I love this too, because Batman goes off, or Bruce goes a little unhinged and knocks out this other billionaire. It's pretty crazy. And then they meet with these villains because they're gonna control them. So they're not exactly good, but they're trying to kind of. It's still,
Sounds like it's an interesting plot.
It is really interesting.
It sounds like it would be fantastic in trade, though.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt, it'll be phenomenal in trade. I'm loving it in issues, though. It's good stuff.
Strong by contender.
Yeah, without a doubt, for sure.
Atchie.
I got Atchie, number 25. It's story by Mark Waid, art by Audrey Mock, colors by Kelly Fitzpatrick, lettering by Jack Morelli. And so we have Atchiekins, and he's with Ronnie, Veronica. They're playing golf, and he's just messing everything up. But he won't stop talking about Betty with her. He's like, oh, I want to visit Betty, but the dad won't let me, and even the mom's against me now, and I don't know what to do, and she really needs help. And then, who's the other friend?
Jughead.
Jughead is visiting her and is like, hey, I know a way that you can hang out with Archie, and I'll stall your family and everything like that, take care of, but you have to wheel off to his baseball practice. And then you see what's going on with Ricky Mantle in jail, and he meets the dad of the redhead kids that are twins.
Okay.
Cheryl and
the guy that died.
Died in the show, but he's not dead in the
Jason.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah. And so I like how Jughead talks to the parents of and he at least gets the mom on his side, and then on top of that, like, they do meet, and Veronica hears them, and it sounds like they're romantically together the way that they're talking, but they're not. It's just the
best friend thing.
Yeah. So she thinks that they're together, but they're not actually together. So yeah, I love it, dude. It's so good.
It's candy.
You know why?
It's edgy.
I'll tell you one reason. Mark Waid, strong by contender.
I really need to get into this book.
You need to just see. I don't even follow characters anymore or titles. I follow creative teams. I follow writers, certain artists. That's what I do. And that's what I think people should do. I'm not saying there's anything against following books for their titles or for the characters, but I'm just saying.
All right, next up we have some Dick.
Because I've been following Dick. I've been following Nightwing just because it's Dick, right? Yeah,
you
just because it's Nightwing. Because I read Grayson, and that wasn't the best.
No.
But I love the character, so I still enjoyed it.
It's number 32.
Yep.
This is Tim Seeley is the writer. Mm-hmm. Scott Eaton and Miguel Mendonca are the pencilers. Wade Foucher and Diana Edgar is the inker. Chris Sotomayor is the colorist.
Cool. So
we get some history.
Yeah, we have Raptor, and he's pretty much telling him his own. It's like a recap of the Nightwing
story,
Dick Grayson story, and then
they're playing cards, and each winning losing hand does correspond with the conversation.
Yeah, really done.
Really well done.
Yeah, and so I love it because Dick is like, okay, well, I'm going to tell you something. It's a little thing, some things that I picked up along the way that old Brucey taught me. And so we piece these things together by talking to other people. And guess what I found out about you is that you were too busy stealing instead of taking care of my mom like you had vowed to do. So really, what you've been avoiding this whole time is your own responsibility for not saving her. You are responsible just as much as anybody else for, like, you knew. And if you would have stuck to that guy that threatened in the first place, which you already knew, instead of worrying about thieving, they'd still be here.
Oh, by the way, dealer wins.
Suck it. So, and then, but he has another thing up his sleeve, which is
the blockbuster.
The blockbuster, yes. Like it's pretty much like a virus at this point. And so, but the others, do you have the other
the bad guy team?
The bad guy team that's like rehabilitated. The runoffs. The runoffs they call themselves, and they're trying to get Orca back because Orca was part of their group for a little while and then went off and did their own thing. And so now they're trying to recruit Orca back because of this situation. They're like, hey, we need your help with this because we know you're brilliant. We need the person brain. Inside. We need the brain. We don't need this exterior, the big, Orca. We need the person. So, and that was great. And so I will say, like, the art.
Yeah, it had its up and downs, but
it was good. It was solid, but there was sometimes where you were it was a little iffy, but not bad. So I want to give it a contender because I love my Dick, and this Dick just rubbed me the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just, I was so into this Dick because it was just so phenomenally just like shaped and formulated, and just the way that it built up, it was just done in such a great way that I just loved it. I felt it was really, it was really exciting and
it was some straight Dick,
explosive, but even more so, I can't wait for the next issue. I want to give it a contender. I'm not going to, but I will say it's absolutely, without a doubt, a strong buy.
It's a strong buy for me, not a contender. It's missing that one thing. All right, next up you have some Danny Rand.
Danny Land?
Danny Rand.
Oh, the Immortal Iron Fist?
Yeah.
Oh, this one's just an Iron Fist.
Oh, still just Danny Rand.
But yeah, it is a legacy book. It's number 74, Iron Fist 74, Sabretooth Round 2. Ed Brisson is the writer, Mike Perkins is the artist, Andy Troy is the color artist. And so they're digging up the dead body of the previous Constrictor because he showed up at the end of the last issue, and that was the strong point of the last issue. So that was lost to me when I started reading this, because I was like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? Who is this guy they're talking about? What does this mean? Like, what's the importance of this? So it took me a while to go, oh, the end of the last issue, because there was this cliffhanger. Doesn't matter, when you pick this one up, when they move into this one. And so they're finding out what's going on with this guy. They go to this bar, and Sabretooth, he knows all the bad guy dive bars, And so they're talking to this guy, and he's like, all right, I'm going to have to whoop your ass to get this information if that's how you want it. And so they end up fighting all these, like, they say Z-list baddies, to find out where this guy is, this imitator and everything like that. And so then they find this other guy, hunt him down, and they find him at the end. But at the same time, the other people that are coming after Iron Fist, they have an army that are going to get this book that they worked with Iron Fist. I mean, with Constrictor. And he's what is it called? Blackmailing them for more money, because he knows that the Iron Fist book or whatever is worth a lot. So they're like, all right, we're screw you. So they converge on the same guy at the same point. So it's going to be a whole melee of craziness in the next issue.
Battle Royale.
Yep. It's not the greatest book out there, and it's definitely one of those books that I still am like always teetering back and forth on. I mean, the art's pretty solid. I don't think it's the best, but it is really solid. And it's definitely not bad. It's good stuff. So in the story is to a certain, it's interesting to a certain degree, especially at certain points. Like I feel like they write a good comic because they have a good beginning, middle, end on its own.
Okay.
But like connected, it's not. I don't know.
It doesn't flow well.
Yeah, it doesn't flow as well connected. You know what I mean? So I'll keep reading it for now. I want to see this big brawl in the next issue. It's a buy.
It's a buy?
Well, I think it's a strong buy, but it's not a contender.
Okay. So F for Fist, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, 6, A for Alvarez, K for Kilo, G for Gerard, 2, M for Marcos, V for Victor, S for Santino, I for Ignacio.
All right, cool.
Soups.
Superman number 34.
This is Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason are the writers. Ed Benz, Doug Mankey, and Jack Herbert are the artists.
Danae Ribeiro?
Yeah, is the colorist. Rob Lee is the letterer.
Dude, this is another book that I just love because it's so awesome.
Yes.
It looks cool, but first of all, they call out Luthor, and he says, tell me the prophecy. The prophecy that they explain is exactly Superman. And he arrives right at that moment, and he's like, here he is.
Yep.
And Superman's like, what the hell do you have you gotten this into, Luthor?
And then Lois and the Granny Goodness and her Furies, they get attacked. And instead of attacking the Furies, Lois attacks the attackers and
this
earns
giant
the
worm.
Respect of the Furies, even becomes a Fury. That's an honor right there.
Right. One of them gets killed. They give her she picks up the weapon and they give her armor. So it's really awesome. And they even talked about this. Well, it's interesting because they kind of bring this up in the other Superman book, which is that smarts, that genius is is one of the reasons that they're great.
Yes.
That Lois is great, and that's exactly. But it's her tenacity too. Like she's tenacious, she's hardcore. She does become like one of these, and she's like, I'm just playing it out to see how things go, and it seems to be going pretty well for her.
And Jonathan has to run away. Run away.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy and pretty intense too. So.
Strong by contender. I love this book. It's amazing.
Strong by contender.
It's just fantastic.
Can't wait to see the next issue. I love the LL.
Yeah.
Her symbol. She's like, my symbol stands for tenacity. So yeah, phenomenal. Next, I got Guardians of the Galaxy. It's 146, Infinity Quest Part 1. It is writer Gary Dugan, artist Marcus Toe, color artist Ian Herring, lettering Corey Petit. And so this one starts with the Talons and stuff, and they're like, they want intel on the new Nova Corps, and they have moles in the new Nova Corps to give them info. And so essentially, you have Adsit, who used to be part of S.H.I.E.L.D., and now he's one of the Novas. And I love how like everybody hates humans and they hate Earth, like all these aliens. It's hilarious. It's like this running joke throughout the whole book. And I love how Rocket just turns into like this manager boss guy. How even though he's a rebel normally, he's like, hey, you do this, you'll go do that. Oh, you guys are drinking on the job? You know, like all this stuff. And it's just so great, dude. And then and so like the Guardians are now undercover as Nova Corps. And so they're sent on these different missions, and they're also there to find out like who is a mole, because they know there's moles. Mm-hmm. And they're also there too because they want to find the Infinity Stones. Well, they go Gamora and Ant-Man, which I thought he left the group, but he's there. They find this group of people that are just out in space in this ship, and it turns out there's these people, and they're getting turned into Ultrons.
Ooh.
So if you read a certain graphic novel where Ultron
raged out,
you would know how and why this may be happening. So I'm pretty jacked off about it myself. I didn't even read this last part because they did a legacy intro. I didn't even read it. I guess I should have. It looks pretty
It's a lineup.
But yeah, anyways, similar to the movie, but more basic. But yeah, so yeah, it's superb, dude. It's really, really solid. Like I was kind of like, and then they threw in that Ultron stuff, and I was like, sick.
I need to pick this book up next time.
Yeah, definitely. So strong buy and a contender. Here's a digital code. F for Familia, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, F for Familia, C for Señorita, 7, C for Carlos, Y for Yucca, 1, L for Lupita, S for Señorita.
Next up, we have The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. This is what, 673?
When Worlds Collide.
Number part 3.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, Mark Waid is the writer. Javier Pina and Paco Diaz are the artists. Rachel Rosenberg is the color artist, and Corey Petit is the letterer. The cover is done by Alex Ross. Always got to mention Alex Ross.
Yep.
So we're getting where we see some stuff from Counter Earth, whatnot, and Viv and Falcon get captured.
Well, yeah, because they're now in Counter Earth.
Well, that's yet to be seen, really. The Earths are merging, according to.
They're phasing through each other, but they're still separate at this time. They talk to that Minotaur, the guy who finally gives up some info that it is the High Evolutionary, which they were pretty much onto. Vision is losing his crap because
Viv
is gone. Yeah.
And the High Evolutionary brings Falcon and Viv to him, and he goes to experiment on them. And
on them both. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, these are metal wings. Okay, we can change that. And then same thing with her. Like, oh, we can
help you
change you. But these other guys, there's people in the Counter Earth, and they're not part of the regime of the High Evolutionary regime. They're just inhabitants of that world. And so they're not enemies. They get transported, and at first they're like, attack them, and they're like, no, they're just
people.
Yeah, they're just normal people like you and I, or whatever. You know what I mean?
They're not warriors.
And so
that's a twist ending there, man.
Yeah, so it's really interesting.
Viv gets transformed. Like that's all we're gonna say.
I like it.
Strong by contender for me. I'm loving this entire story, spanning between both Avengers and the Champions. I like it a lot.
I like the writing. The art at times is like I feel like it's consistent, but it's consistently like it could be better. I just feel like it could be better. It's not bad, but I just feel like it's not strong by contender material.
Okay.
It's not B-Bell material. To me, the art isn't.
I think it is.
So, well, then you can read the code then, Missy.
Yeah, because I'm special. Here's the code: F for Fing Fang Foom, C for Cable, M for Mario, 2, M for Mario, 3, P for Peter, 6, Z for Zarbon, 7, K for Kilo, N for Nova.
Okay. Now I have Cyborg number 18. It is the Singularity Aftermath. We have John Semper Jr. as the writer, Will Conrad as layouts, Will Conrad and Cliff Richards as finishes, Ivan Nunez as colorist, Rob Lay's letter. So yeah, and it's really, I really like the way the narration is done on this, because it's interesting how the narration is done as like he's telling the end of a story that's already passed. You know what I mean? And so, but we're just seeing it now, and you're getting the full explanation of it. And it was really cool. like, so this universe, that girl variant, she decides to stay, besides the variant in that universe was killed. And so she's like, I think he needs me, and stuff. And so he does end up going back to his own, but then like one of the bad guys from that went with them, he's back. And so he's like his sidekick or whatever, like made all these machines go after all the people of Detroit. So he's fighting them off along with some other people. But then the actual dude, he realized that what he did was wrong. So he's like, I don't need to just, do what I did. It seems like the way of the future is you, Cyborg. So I'm just going to let you do your thing. And I think eventually we'll all just be like you, And I just love how this whole thing wrapped up. How he's like, I have a newfound, like love and respect for my father, and like, all the people that help him. And I really hope that he gets back to, that his previous romance from before he was cyborged. Yeah. So yeah, but it was really, I really enjoyed how it was wrapped up.
Excellent.
It was done really, really well.
What's your grade for it?
It's a strong buying contender because of how well it's done, but yeah, I'm gonna give the digital code D for detective, C for comics 917, S for
Superman,
yeah, L for Luthor, G for
Green Lantern,
yep, C for Cyborg, yeah. R for
Robin,
P for Prey,
yeah.
Y for Yellow, and G for Guy.
Yeah. Alrighty, time to announce our B-Bows and runner-ups for the week. Lots of stuff here. Mine's pretty freaking easy. If you've been catching what I've been saying for the last few weeks, I'm not really changing too much. Man, the runner-up, it's got to be the Spider-Man. It's got to be the Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, because that book was amazing for me, a runner-up. Not quite my my B-Bow, but this is definitely my runner-up. Should we keep this one, or do you want to give away the other one, or?
Huh?
Because the Spider-Man is the other one we didn't give away.
Oh, the other one?
Yeah.
The other Spider-Man?
Yeah.
We'll hold on to that one. That's your runner-up, you said, right?
This one is my runner-up.
That's your runner-up, so we'll hold on to that one.
Okay. My B-Bow is obvious. Completely obvious. I've been saying this for weeks. The Dark Knight's Metal Batman origin stories, the single issues, these are fantastic. They tell a great story, give you a good new perspective on what could have happened, and they're beautifully drawn. I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's a B-Bow. What you got, buddy?
Come on. You had a now. All right. Runner up, I'm going to go with the same, which is Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man #6. It really hit home. I loved this conversation that him and
J. Jonah
that
Jameson.
Peter Parker and J. Jonah Jameson had, because I'm going to spoil it. He takes his mask off. He reveals himself to J. Jonah Jameson, which might be the biggest mistake he's ever made in his life, or the best, considering that
they're brothers.
Through marriage. And so, because Aunt May married his dad, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they both have felt loss on both sides, so they know, and I feel like they actually do have a lot in common, and that's probably why they kind of hate each other, partially. But it's such a huge game changer, and then even the way the rest of the issue plays out, and everything, like it was just so intense the whole way through. Yeah, it was just brilliant, and it looked classic too. That was the thing, is that
it had that classic
look. Had that classic look, and it went with the tone perfectly.
Yes.
And it's interesting how, like, sometimes when you have Peter Parker in the suit, you're like, it's not Peter Parker, but sometimes, like this one, this was definitely Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Even though he was in the suit. And so it was great. But I'm going to have to go with Captain America #695 as my back and bag of the week. And this is how you write a Captain America story, people, with heart, with
patriotism.
The patriotism, with him defending people. Not, you should not be writing a Captain America that is part of a group that is actually started off being part of the Nazis, that was so evil that it's worse than Nazis, So that's one thing, is like, hey, you think it's bad because he's a Nazi? He was worse than a Nazi as Hydra Cap, because they're just want to rule everything. And so, like, there's a way to do it respectfully, to, like, we're going to have him do it undercover. Or there's a way that they could have done it where the true soul and spirit of Cap overcame the
Hydra
programming, and that in the end he would have just broken it, because he is a good soul, he's a good person, which Emil Erskine, that's why he transformed him in the first place.
Yep.
And so that's what I thought was going to happen. And instead it was some other pile of crap. So
back to form.
This is back to form. And this team, to me, I feel like can almost do no wrong. They did a Daredevil run. I think it's the greatest Daredevil run of all time. I feel like anytime these two come together, they make absolute gold. Or what's better than gold? Platinum. Diamonds, I don't know, whatever. It's just
vibranium.
Pure brilliance. It's just yeah, right. Vibranium. It's just, yeah, and it's to form in look, tone, every single way. Like, it looks classic too, even the current stuff.
Yeah.
So
let's give away that Spider-Man book then.
We have a lot of books to give away. I think I have a whole stack of stuff.
That Vader.
That Vader is for somebody else.
Yeah.
But I have Iceman and I have Spider-Man here. So why don't you go ahead and give the Spider-Man, and I'll give the Iceman.
Alrighty. So this is for Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is number 234. And F for Fantastic, C for Cable, M for Miles, H for Hobgoblin, 7, T for Tinkerer, D for Daredevil, N for Nova, T for Tinkerer, 4, U for U-Man, and D for Daredevil.
All right, cool. And for Iceman number 7, I have F for Familia, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, R for Rigoberto, 0, 3, F for Familias, B for Barrio Nuevo, Z for Zorro, Q for Quintana, U for Uganda, and 0.
And that's our books for the week. Again, us guys are getting together at IHOP tonight, so we're going to be talking some nerdy stuff late at 3 a.m. or midnight or
that's 3 a.m. reviews.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, anyways.
It's going to be a combination of everything.
It's going to be, whatever.
It's going to be call it 3 a.m. nerdy reviews after dark or whatever.
Right? It's going to be this giant thing. It's going to be probably like a 2-parter because from what I hear, we have a lot of stuff to cover.
Who knows? We're just going to chat. That's going to how it's going to work.
Chat and have a good grand old time.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. What do you think? We have this stack of comics here. Should I give them away now or should I give them away separately for something else? Or
I think you should give them away separately.
Separately? Okay.
You should just have one single cast where it's like, okay, well, here. Thanks.
Real quick reviews right after this. So you can find all of our stuff at TNTMTheShow. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Some people are telling me they can't find stuff iTunes. I need to hit them up. I need to find somebody to fix our iTunes because it says they can't find it or it says it's not available in this country. But I'm subscribed to it. I've been subscribed to it for a long time, so I get it on mine, and it pops up on Slay J's as well. But I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out and we'll fix it.
Yeah. So if you have anything for us, please tell us. And is there anything else?
Other than we're gonna feed our eyes.
Oh, for hungry for comics.
Yeah. We're going to keep our eyes hungry for comics. That's fun.